right, welcome to week 3. We're going to have a look at some primitive data types in Java. So in order to do that, we're going to just jump into a program in Eclipse. So when we talk about primitive data types in Java, we are talking about data types that are built in to Java and aren't actually referencing other classes within the overall Java hierarchy. So there's only a few. We're not going to talk about every one. You can do some reading in the book, or you can do some look online to look at all of them. We're going to talk briefly about how to declare, how to initialize, or how to do both together. A little bit about concatenation and how they work together. And then we'll also talk about like uppercase versus lowercase notation. So the one you're going to use the most is probably the integer, which we use int. Notice that I use lowercase when I refer to this. So I'm going to do int my num equals 10. So what I've done in this line is I am creating an integer, which is a non-decimal numerical value, calling it my num, and I'm assigning it a value of 10. So this is both declaring and initializing, which is which is an integer value. So we can also do something where we declare but we don't initialize. So I could have int my second num. Now this declared but not initialized. Okay, so it does not have a numerical value right now. So let's say I wanted to print these out to the screen. So I do my system out print line. So system referring to the system library, and out for an output. Print line means print the literal string or the string and then jump to the next line. So I'm going to try printing my num. Okay, I'm going to run this code, green arrow. Okay, so it prints 10. Okay, so now let's try printing my second num. Now that doesn't work because the variable may not have been initialized. So I need to give it a value. Now I don't need to do it in the same line as I declared it. So I could do my second num equals 20. This declares it. It tells Java anywhere in this file where you know this variable exists, you will now refer to it as an integer. So we've told Java, I've created an integer and I've called it this. And now I have access to it throughout the rest of my code. So now I just do my second num is 20. So if I run that now, it'll print 20. Okay, so you can also do math within these statements. So I could do my num plus my second num. Okay, and I could run that as well. And that is going to give me 30, which is the sum of 10 and 20. So I put that in there, and we can do that. Now, there's other types of primitives that we might work with. Another example is a char. So my char equals a. So a couple things to note. I have declared my char to be a char type, which is a character type. I use single quotes around a char, and I use lowercase a, and my same with a semicolon. So this is declared and initialized. I could do char my second char equals b. Oh, sorry. So my second char, so declared but not initialized. And then my second char equals b. So again, same process I did with the integers. So I could then do system.out.println. Okay, and I could try printing my char. And let's see how that works. So there we see our A. So let's go in, let's print the other. My second char. Okay. What if I did the sum like I did with the integers? Let's have a look. Interesting. It didn't do what we thought it would do. I wonder why it came up with a number of 195. I'm not going to say any more about that. I'll let you think about why that is. See if you can figure out an answer to that. Some of the other types that are primitive in Java are things like Boolean, which is a true or false value, double, which is for decimal values, float, another form of decimal value, short and long also. other forms of values that we might look at. There's things like a byte, etc. So you can go online and look at a few more of these, but this is really what I wanted you to take away from that initial setup of how do we declare, how do we initialize a variable that is a primitive data type. The other data types are object data types. That might be something like a string. So we'll come back and we'll talk about that another time. All right. Okay, so that's it for primitive data types. I'll let you continue on. Have a good day.